It can be extremely difficult to run a business and book over 3,600 calls in a year while at the same time fixing equipment, booking all the calls, getting the customer details, training the technicians, and growing the business. But don't worry, it's your boy, Marcus the Money Man, the Appliance Boss, back with this video, and I'm going to break down how I built a extremely strong back office to support all of that and show you the three phases that you can do to build it in under a month. Welcome to the Appliance Boss channel. What's happening, everybody? Let's get into this video, how to create the perfect back office for growth. Now, you've been in the business, home service business, appliance repair business. Oftentimes you start out by yourself, answering the calls, scheduling everything, communicating with customers, and doing all the jobs, filling everything yourself. So I'm going to walk through what I did to create the back office to be able to support over 3,000 appointments last year. So let's break it down. The first thing in mind you have to understand is booking. So when you're booking calls, you can't book calls and do work at the same time. So you have to have the proper phone system in place to be able to get the call. So you may say, hey, I got everything connected to my cell phone. No problem. You can get that number ported over to another number. I use a service called Twilio that's connected to my CRM. And what that allows is the number to be pushed out. It goes into a phone system where it rings on everybody's phone. So they can pick up the phone and answer it, so that way calls won't go unbooked. The second thing, because you're going to have calls coming in now, somebody that's not you, you have to be able to give them a sales script. That's very important because you want them to say the right things at the right time. Now, it won't be perfect right out the gate, but if you give them a script over time, it'll get easier and better for you. And then also too, they won't be guessing and improvising on what to say or what they shouldn't say. There's also phone systems that can record the calls. Those are good because you can refer them back to calls that you've taken booked to show what's a good call, what to ask, what not to ask, or you can have a framework in place like we do here. Now, the last thing that you want to have in order to book calls efficiently is an online website booking app. I tell you, this is a lifesaver. And remember, 85% of the people are going to find you by searching on the phone. So if you have something that's online, handy, and easy for them to book and schedule, it'll give your people who are answering the calls time to go back, review what they submitted, and then call them to confirm. Or if you have it all integrated in the system where you don't even need to do that, so say you're using, a booking app where we used to have it where they can book everything, tell us the problem, put the appliance in. So if you're using something like that, then you actually reduce the amount of man labor you need on the phone because you're going to get book calls through the website. So right now, we can book 1 to 2 calls a day on the website, which is great. It's just 1 to 2 more interactions that we don't have to deal with at the very beginning. They understand how much how much the service call fee is going to cost them, and it's a good experience for the type of customer who just wants to book and get it out the way. Now, this second phase is basically managing your customer. So you want to be able to manage your customer, how many times they called in, what are they calling about, etc. And then also managing their work tickets. As you begin to have more and more calls, sure, you can juggle maybe 10 calls, but I tell you, if you try to tell me what calls you ran 2 weeks ago, you won't be able to give step by step what happened with each appliance unless you're just kind of some savant. But if you are, more power to you. I'm not a savant. I can hold some information in my mind, but a CRM that has these type of fields to manage work orders makes it a lot easier. So we use a combination of House Call Pro and a CRM that I developed. And what it allows us to do is capture the client's information. So we have all their information, their address, emails, phone numbers, right? And then we also have a call log of when they called, what time they called. We record the callings, right? We have an automated system that tells them this call will be recorded for quality assurance. And the call recording is cool because no matter who's answering the phone, they can always go back and listen to the recording that they just did or listen to a previous one that took place, right? There's notes right there next to the call. So as the call is happening, they can type in notes about what's going on if it's not pertinent to a field service request, to the work order, right? Maybe they're calling in for an update or to give, some extra information like a daughter will be home or whatever. So we have that field there, and it's right there. So when the person calls, the thing is up on the screen. You can easily click and see the information that's needed. And lastly, about managing your work orders and managing your calls is getting paid. A lot of people forget this, and it's important because if you are not taking credit card or checks, some people don't take checks anymore, or cash or whatever, you want to have a seamless process for you, your bookkeeper or accountant, so that when a transaction occurs, because remember, you're not going to be running the calls anymore. You're not going to be scheduling the calls anymore. You're going to be hands off on that, working on the business. So you're going to need a mechanism so where the technician gets paid for their service, then it goes into the system, it associates with a client, it categorizes it, so that way you can have some kind of analytics to know whether it's a COD, warranty, etc. And it goes into a space where your bookkeeper has a system set up based on how your workflow is conducted to be able to produce you financials. So that way you can stay on top of your game and know if you're doing well, not so good, which calls are getting you most paid, what are your highest tickets, your highest vendors, etc. So these are the top two things, and let's transition into that last thing. Now, the last thing, it may seem like it's, I won't say not as important, but is oftentimes overlooked. So it is delivering quality service. So not only quality, but the same consistent service for your customers. So that's probably the most important, or the most thing that scares business owners from allowing technicians come to do the job is the customer wants me. Well, if you have things in the place like a parts ordering process, so when they go in and they do a work order, there's mechanisms in place to make sure that the parts get ordered, and our stuff don't always get ordered in time, but there's mechanisms to understand where the failure point happened. So if you have a technician that forgets to actually request the part, you have a trail, right? So you have a mechanism. So every time they request a part, they do this, it goes into this spot, and the database is updated in a queue so somebody can order the part. Whether that's you making the order, because I know I order parts for a period, Julie ordered parts for a period, and we transitioned the ordering of parts over to Fabian now. So and we can only do that because we had a process in place that was duplicatable and repeatable. Okay, so that way we can train on it. So that's very important. In addition to that, you want to have a good back-end communication system. The back-end communication system is going to allow everyone to talk because you don't want to use email all the time. Emails gets lost. Gmail does this weird thing where they bunch them all together, and that kind of sucks. So you have services like Slack. Gmail has like a Google Chat in there now, so you can use that. But there's all types of services where you can set up streams of conversations. Okay, so we have one set up just for the CSRs. They communicate back and forth about calls or questions or whatever. in there. We have a technician one where the technicians can go back and forth, ask questions. I can give updates to everybody. And then, of course, you can have your one-on-one kind of chat streams. And that makes it easy because not everybody is always going to be in the office. They might be in the field, they may be in the office. You may have a home office where you work out of and they work out of their home, but this communication system brings everyone together. And then lastly, this is a bonus, right? You want to have a review system set up as well. So, and what do I mean by that, right? So if you're booking appointments, you're managing your clients, and you're giving consistent service, you want a way to be able to track the positive 5-star reviews that you get on Google, other platforms, Yelps, Angie's, all that stuff. I'm gonna have to make another video on Angie's. I got some updates on that. And Yelp, there's no change in Yelp. Right now, if you don't have a Yelp account, create your business on Yelp. My quick, tip to you on the side of this video, I know we're talking about back office, but with Yelp, sign up with them, pay them a little bit of money, get the little free thing, cut it off, and then leave your account going and just respond. You'll get a lot of leads. So that's for the free 99. But overall, these are the 3 phases or 3 things that you want to focus on when you're building the back office. There's different ways that you can manage it, hire for those positions, what positions goes into that. I guess I could drop another video about it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to discuss it in the Facebook group on Saturday. This coming Monday, we're going to have the Sales Dominations course. So be on the lookout for it. Monday, January, I don't know. It's going to be Monday, January. Monday, January 23rd. Be on the lookout for that Sales Domination course. It's gonna be fire. It's gonna be fire. I went through it with my mastermind group, and it's on point. But thanks for watching. Go ahead, give this video a like, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.